Beyonce is so fine that if she worked at Burger King, she could still marry Jay-Z. That's how fine she is. She could still get her a billionaire, great rapper businessman. She is so fine that if she worked at Burger King, she could still marry Jay-Z. Now, if Jay-Z worked at Burger King, think about it for one second. You can tell what kind of neighborhood you're in just by who's not working. If you're in any neighborhood in America at 12:15 in the afternoon on a Wednesday, and you see women with sweatpants on, coming out the gym, pushing babies, riding bikes, that's right, having brunch, going to Soul Cycle, chances are you're in a nice neighborhood. There's probably a Whole Foods nearby. That's right. Wherever women ain't working is an amazing place to live. That's where I want to live. I want to live in a place where women are voluntarily not working. That is where I want to live. Now, let's switch it up. If you in any neighborhood in America at 12:15 in the afternoon on a Wednesday, and you see men in sweatpants, smoking cigarettes, hanging with their boys, lifting weights in the yard, riding children's bicycles as their actual transportation, then you are in danger.
That being said, do we have the mindset of do we have the wrong mindset of how we should be coming into relationship or our understanding of it? Because in the scenarios that Chris Rock has brought up, and we've brought this up and we talked about this a little bit before in CSC, in the scenario where you're living in paradise, the women are at home, they're taking care of the kids, the men are hard at work. In the scenario that Chris Rock brought up, when the men are at home and the women are at work taking care of their man, evidently, because somebody got to take care of those men, you're in a dangerous environment, an unstable environment. So what do we think about this? Because this comes out in social media a lot. So what do we think about this? Because, you know, for most of us, we're going to need both people to work. You know, he didn't go into that scenario. But how do we feel about this? How do we feel about this? And I'm going to pick on some people who haven't spoken yet. I think Jocelyn wants to speak. She has that look in her eyes as though she just wants to say something. And I'm just feeling the vibe from you, Jocelyn, that you just want to say just a little bit. Because you didn't say anything. You did not have the opportunity to talk last time.
I'm not a fan. You're talking in reference to stay-at-home dad.
No, I'm not talking in reference to anything. I'm talking to the reference of whatever you believe this should be. Whatever it is, whether these are stay-at-home dads, whether these are broke amen, whether this is the whole feminine, masculine, women walking in their masculine, the men are in their feminine, whether this is a woman feels like I can't get no man, so I just take a piece of a man. If this is, yeah, good men come, but I ain't staying at home. Okay, a good man, I don't care how you see it, it's how you see it. And your truth is your truth, and it's real, and it's 100%. We're ready for it.
That's a broad subject, though. I need you to slim that down a little bit for me.
Okay, let's trim it down. So, would you take care of your man?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
In what regard? Now, if you're talking about in a marriage, you find this sexy dude, Chuck,
and he is just sexy, and you like, man, he look good in
Sexy
that,
don't pay the
in that
bills.
little
Sexy
Zoom
don't pay the bills.
thing.
Sexy don't pay
And
the
then,
bills.
but he built though, and he dressed well,
Mm-hmm,
and he know how to,
mm-hmm,
and he know how to talk to you, girl. He know how to make you feel good with his words, you know, and he loves God.
I'm feeling you. I'm feeling you,
And he
but that don't
wants
pay
to
the bills.
spend his time praying to Jesus.
Them prayers need to be spent on my gas bill, though. You see what I'm saying? Because I cannot respect a man that can't add to my household. I need you to bring at least what I bring to the table. I don't even like that table thing because that makes my hair curl. But I need you to bring at least what I have. I'm past the point of, because I used to have the mindset of you need to bring more of what I have. But that's not realistic because people are in different stages of life. But I need you to at least be able to sustain yourself. You need to have your own place. You need to have your own transportation. You need to have your own income. You know, I'm a little leery of entrepreneurs, to be honest. My last relationship, he was an entrepreneur. That is unstable for me. So I need somebody who is stable, especially in my current age. I can't do instability. I don't want somebody who doesn't know what they want to do with their life. In this current stage in life, I need you. I'm not talking about, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do in the company. That's fine. But basics, I can't do that. I'm 42. I can't do that. If you don't know the basics, I can't do that. Now, hard times in a marriage, that happen. But you're talking about a man I just meet, and I'm still trying to get things together. Then once you get them together, you can come and see me and see if I'm still available. But I'm not getting ready to wait for you.
Yeah, she put it down, boy. Jocelyn put it down. Melinda, you got something you want to say on that? Are you trying to hide? She's trying to take her head.
Yeah, hey everybody. I don't want to be the breadwinner. I mean, I'm gonna just keep it real simple. I don't want to be the breadwinner.
Okay, so would you be the woman sitting at home, just in the jogging pants, taking care of the kids, on a nice sunny day?
So take the word just out of there. Our words matter. This is about semantics, because whether it's the man or the woman that's at home, because I know stay-at-home dads too, whether it's the man or the woman that's not out in the workplace, if they're running a household, and I've done that in the past, it can be a whole job. It's a whole job that you are not getting hazard pay for, which in some circumstances I think you should, especially if you have to ride a lawnmower or something like that. I just don't want to be the breadwinner in the family and the relationship. But I wouldn't mind working either. I'm flexible. Whatever is meant for me to do. Whatever he wants me to do, that's what I'm gonna do. God and my partner. That's what I'm gonna do.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I like that answer. Calvin, my man Calvin, I know you got something to say, brother. You've been over there quiet. Look at him grinning. I know he got something to say. See, Calvin, you go out, man. I'm telling you, I'm trying to be like Calvin when I grow up. So come on, brother. I know you got something to say about this topic. This topic right up your alley. You and Kenneth. Kenneth turned his camera off, so he think I ain't gonna call on him. So he turned his camera off. But that's all right. I'm still gonna call on you, Kenneth, once I get through with Calvin. Come on, man.
So because I don't work, no woman on this site right now would date me. Ooh, I guess not.
They didn't blink. Man, blink.
No. You don't work because you're retired. That's different from not working.
Yeah.
Huh?
You're retired. So let's get it straight.
Wait.
Yeah. See, you had your career.
Words matter. Words matter.
Right. In context.
Speak your truth. Speak your truth, Calvin. You worked a whole career.
You don't even start
try to start any mess on here with your retired self. Cut it out.
Right. Living off the fat of the land or the labor of your work, no, you got income.
One thing you don't have to work.
Thank you, Calvin. That makes two of us.
Because of that, it led to my divorce. It was one of the many things that led to my divorce because I told my wife at the time, I'm tired. I'm gonna retire. She said, no, you ain't. She said she is not gonna get up, go to work, and leave me in the bed. A man should be working. Never mind that I'll pay off everything. And I don't mind you coming home. I didn't say all this, I just listened. That you're gonna be coming home to a hot meal. I ain't beyond cooking and cleaning. I can do that. It was better than getting put in the trauma center and shot at and all that other stuff. But she couldn't see that far. Okay. And what I'm hearing from a lot of women is that you'll get so much more if you tell a man what you need. This is what I need from you. And instead of, okay, whatever comes out of his mouth, because we do change our mind. Men, we do. And everybody wants that finished product. That's not the real world. I hear say nobody's perfect, but everybody, I'm finding it's all about me. Now I'm gonna backtrack about something, the previous subject, passport bros. I've talked to those guys. And I did a little bit of homework because I'm that kind of nerd. I kind of try and look into things. What women don't understand here in this country is that man shortage is worldwide. You pick any country and do some homework, they got a man shortage. And the same problems that I hear, they have it over there with men. So men are going other places, exercising their options. So I won't start none this time, but I am a practicing bum. Okay. I'm just practicing.
Man, Calvin, man, I called you so you would start something. Nah, dog, man. You trying to keep it even kill, man. But I do want to put this in perspective, because we talk a lot about, and two people have brought up the whole thing about the disparity of men and women in the world. And there's no disrespect to the people who have spoken on this. It isn't, but we want to make sure that we're clear. There really isn't a different amount of men to women. It's almost 1-to-1. The issue is it's the men that women consider to be quality enough to be married to. That is where the ratio shows up. So when you start to talk about, especially in America, educated men who are not married, who have, if they do have a child, they have enough money to cover that child and any new future children, have enough money to travel and or to do things and to buy a house, have decent credit, haven't been to jail, or if they have been to jail, they've built a career now where it doesn't matter that jail is on their record. They don't have any STDs. They don't have any other major problems, and they're decently attractive and well-spoken. When you start to talk about that level of man, yes, it does turn into like 1-to-7, 1-to-10. Okay, but when you're just literally talking about Literally, you were born a male, you were born a female. These people still exist in the world. It's almost 50-50. But I do agree that husband quality men are very hard to find. But I will also say that no matter what women believe, wife quality women are hard to find. And I have a theory on it. I've talked about it, but that's not what tonight is about. So anyway, come on, Chuck.
I was gonna say, I think work ethic is huge, and for me, I think that, or I look at a person's outer appearance, how they take care of themselves. I look at, where they are in their life, because for me, I wouldn't have a problem if my wife stayed at home, but the question is she looking to retire and just kind of live a life of luxury, or is she looking to take that work ethic that she was displaying all throughout her life and transfer that to the household? And that is what would be a benefit and what would be worth it to, get up every day and go out and, risk my life for this family, and, is worth it, but it's hard to tell the difference. I think a lot of people are looking for that easy life. And, I did want to say one thing that also to that, the last comment is that it seems like later in life, people are looking for the solid dude, but early in life, they're looking for, when you were saying, the quality of the man matters. I think that's later in life after the person kind of gets a little bit older, but early in life, the quality of the man is not, not a high priority. So in my experience, I think it's dealing with a lot of, kind of, I don't want to say the word, baggage, but just a lot of history with people who did early in life and now are looking for a good dude. So, and I think everybody has the right to progress, but
Yeah, I agree. In fact, since nobody else has their hand up, I'll give you guys my little 5-minute quick spiel on it. I feel like when you're in your 20s, and we're just going to say 20s, I know it can start as young as 17, or even younger, but I think that you start off with the same amount of people, like I said. Say if you have, just look at it like this. We're just going to make a real small amount. We're going to say 100 men and 100 women, you put them in a room. All right. And then you tell them, hey, you have to find your person in this room. So what's going to happen is people are going to start to mingle. Some of the shy people are going to be, slow about it. Some of the very quick people, who are a little bit more aggressive, they're going to go out. But people are going to talk. They're going to date within the room, within 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. And you say, okay, well, we're going to do this. We're going to do this until everybody finds somebody. Well, what's going to happen is very quickly about 50% of the people are going to find good people, and they're going to get pulled out of the room. So everybody that finds a couple, they get pulled out of the room. And then if you divorce from your person, you get to go back into the room. So what happens is by the time people are in their 30s, early 30s, 50% of the people have exited the room. Why have those 50% of the people exited the room? They found a good person. See, we assume that all 100 people in the room, all 100 men and all 100 women are good people. They're not. They're representative of what's in the world. Okay? So what happens is now these people are pulled out. The people who are divorced come back in. When they're come back in, are there still good people in the room? Yes, there's good people in the room, but now most of the good people are out of the room. Does that make sense? So the older you get, the more difficult it becomes, because now you're in a situation where you're dealing with people that aren't as good. And I know we don't like to think of ourselves like that, but it's not necessarily because you made a bad decision in the fact of who you are as a person. It's more about you could have, like kind of like Chuck is saying, if you're the type of, he said a woman, so I'm gonna go with the woman, but men can do this too. If you're the type of person that is really attracted to the bad person, to the fun person, you're missing out on good people that are in front of you right now. And you're making a conscious choice to say, I want to play in my 20s. Where most people don't play in their 20s. Most people get married in their 20s. People can say whatever they say, but facts are facts. Okay, so now you're letting these good people slide through your fingers. And now you're saying, okay, now 33, 34, 35, now I want to get married. But now a lot of the good guys or good women are now off the market. So now you're having to deal with what you have left over, and you're trying to weave through these guys and or women, and they're wasting your time. Okay, and so I could go into it even deeper than that, but I think that's enough to get the gist of at least my theory of it. And since I've been over this group, and since I've been doing the studies, and I've been looking up the facts about it, a lot of that seems to line up. Because when people teach their children about marriage, strong marriage, and that is part of the culture of the household, and two of these people come together, they get married, they stay married, they're usually married in their early 20s, and they're off the market. But people who struggle because maybe their parents didn't make it as much of a priority, or they're trying to push their career or whatever, they tend to have a harder time. And people say, well, you get married too young, you don't know what you're doing, and blah, blah, blah. And that's true if you have not been trained at home. If you're trained at home by your parents, then 25 is plenty old to get married. And when you look at brides.com, put it out there, if you look at the number they say, okay, they say it's 32. 50% of people will be married and or in a strong relationship by the age of 32. Okay, so we can go back and forth over it, but it's like I say, it's just logical. You know what I'm saying? It's just logical. There are men out here who are not made to be fathers. They're not made to be husbands. They don't have husband energy. And there's women out here that are not made to be wives. Now, some of these people might figure it out later on in life, but they haven't figured it out in the primary early, dating age. But anyway, yeah, I like what you say. It's all about personal growth. And that's true. And so I'm down with you, Chuck, on that. And I'm surprised y'all ain't talking more. Calvin, you ain't got no more to say about this. These women going after this money. Kristen got something to say.
I just think it's the same of what a lot of the women alluded to. For me at 35, if a man approaches me and they're trying to figure life out and they're not stable, that's a red flag for me. Because once you reach a certain age, you should have the basics. Like, you should have your own place, your own car. Or if you don't have your own place, like if you're staying with somebody because you're trying to save up for a house, like there has to be some type of ambition and goal. Like I like a lot of the women have already said that I'm not going to just be taking care of you. Like, we should both be working. We should both be making money financially, and we should both have the basics of life. Like, it should be no reason you should not have a car. Like, unless you're in New York, that's an exception. New York, places like that. But like the basics, like you should have at this point in life.
Okay, so let's change it up, and I'm gonna put this to Lee, if she can, Lee Ward, if she can take if she can unmute. So say for instance, you meet this guy and he is fine, girl. He is tall. I don't know if you like him chocolate, like him light-skinned it. I don't know what you like, but he is what you like, girl. And I'm telling you, he speaks to speak. He dresses well. But he has this great job that he loves, and he's making maybe half of what you make, right? But this dude, he does it all, girl. When you get up in the morning, your breakfast is made. He makes you hot breakfast every morning. He packs your lunch. When you come home, he got dinner ready. He cut your yard. I mean, he got everything, but he only makes half of what you make. But he's happy though. He's happy though. No kids, will take care of your kids if you got them. If not, he want to make them with you. never will cheat on you. What's up? Will you date this guy?
So can everyone hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hello, everyone. At my time of my life, I'm 51. I'll be 52 in May. So at this time of my life, I've thought about that. Because the pickings seem to be slim, I've thought about that. It's like, okay, so how important is that to me? As far as him making the same amount of me, but he does, he doesn't make as much, but he is there in every way and is able to, hold it down in areas that I might not be able to. At this day and age, I probably would give it some thought. I would definitely give it some thought. I saw on Instagram, I think it was Instagram, this woman was talking about how she met this guy, I think it was on a dating site, and she was saying that he is not her normal type of man that she would normally date. But she gave him a chance and they seem to be working out well. And normally I would be like, oh no, you've got to be making at least what I'm making, and you've got to be, and I would like to think that I would give him a chance. I mean, I really would like to think that, that I would give him a chance. But
Well, that's good. Everybody just, you say what?
The pickings are slim. So, some of the things that I might have looked at before as far as, oh, he's so fine, or he's, some of those things may not be as important now. As long as he's treating me well and he's, got a good head on his shoulders, he believes in, the Lord and, has those traits. I mean, don't want any kids. So, and he doesn't have to, my daughter's grown, so she doesn't have to do any of that. I won't deal with someone that has young kids though, because I don't have any young kids, and I'm not doing sippy cups and play dates. I'm just not gonna be able to do that at this age. So,
That kills my chance then. Me and my 12 kids won't be able to.
Yeah.
Go,
So, but yeah, I mean, I would think that I would hope to
Right.
be able to be open to that. That's what I would like, to be open to it.
But you got a starting 5 and you got a backup 5 and you got 2 spares. That's no good. Okay, not funny. Never mind. Bye.
I thought
So
it was
yeah.
funny. No, I like that, Lee. I mean, you giving these men a chance. Good for you. Good for you. Now, all the women say you need a prenup. They saying it in the chat. They like, girl, you need a prenup because they thinking these men gonna take you to town. But I'm with you. I'm with you.
Chuck said she need a prenup.
You didn't say that, Lord. What'd you say?
I said even Chuck said she need a prenup.
No, I think everybody needs a prenup.
Yeah, honestly, I think if it's
Agreed.
your second marriage or you're over 35,
So do I.
you need a prenup. I ain't gonna lie about that. If you're over 35 or it's your second marriage, yeah. The first person get a free ride. Second person, no. You got too much to lose.
Yeah, you got to learn from that first one.
My thing is, I don't believe in alimony. To me, that's just my personal, this is 2023, men and women are out here getting it, and I just don't feel like, it is either the man's responsibility or the woman's responsibility to take care of somebody. Now, of course, I say that now because I'm, working every day, but if I was with a Jay-Z or if I was with someone that had that kind of money, I might think twice.
Yeah, I think was it Tiger Woods's girlfriend is suing him because he has said that she could stay in the house for like 5 years, even if they broke up. But then they broke up and he was like, no, I want you to leave. So she's saying on a house like that, the rent would be so high that I think it was something like she's suing him for $30 million or something like that. Cause she's saying just that rent would be that. And she feels as his girlfriend, she deserves $30 million just for hanging out with them. Come on, Chuck.
That's
Well,
some
just
gold digging stuff right there.
yeah, just on that note,
Yeah.
she lived there for 2 years, so she should have been saving that rent, you know, what she would have been paying. But I think that definitely you gotta, what you said about, you know, over a certain age. I've never been married, but I work really hard to, and I'm sure everybody has to progress in life, and, you know, just to risk it. I think you have to, with the nature of the world, and because somebody was saying that they don't believe in alimony. Really, it's the court and the system believes in it because they make a lot of money on it. I think I want to say 60 something cents of every dollar goes to the court and retirement fund for judges and things like that. So it's in their interest to, you know, not have marriages work out and to maximize the money. So you gotta protect yourself.
Yeah, actually, they're talking about changing the child support because they have far too many women that they've recognized have taken advantage of it. In fact, there was one lady on social media that did a count of it. And she was like, yeah, baby, I got 6 children from 6 different men, and you right. And I did it. And that's how all y'all supposed to do, because I'm going to tell you why. She was like, if you get one child from one man, you get to pull 18% of his money. But if you have 6 children from one man, you can fully only get 35% of his money. So think about that. I got 18. Put them all together, that's much higher than the 35% I would have got just from one man. But the problem with this is that it teaches the wrong way of thinking. Okay, and people don't think about the damage, first of all, that they're doing to those children. And then it also creates this thing between men and women, which we're seeing more and more, where men don't trust women anymore. You know, and then women don't trust men anymore. And instead of both people coming to the table together, there's all this mistrust and concern and worries and all this other kind of stuff. So everybody's team prenup, and nobody's not team prenup. It's okay. Y'all can say, oh, here's Tyler's team. Come on, Tyler.
Well, I'm not necessarily non-team prenup, but I guess it's always the question of it's beneficial if you make more than the other person, but if they make more than you, do you benefit from the prenup? But it depends on your assets and what you have. You know, the past few guys I've dated, I made more than what they make. So yeah, it would benefit me. But if I met a Jay-Z or something like that, that prenup protects them. So if I stop working or whatever, I can't, you know, or whatever happens, I'm kind of left out in the cold, but it's like, it doesn't benefit me because they're the ones that are protected. So prenup protects the person that has I'm not gonna say highest value, but has the greater asset. So there's nothing wrong with protecting yourself. You know, I guess it's an individual thing, but I know a lot of people feel some kind of way about signing them. If you do meet somebody and you really do love that person, but you want to protect yourself, how do you respond to that if they say they don't want to sign a prenup? Do you just be like, well, too bad, so sad, I'm not marrying you, because they feel like they may be left out in the cold or they may be slighted, because no one wants to be put in a situation where they could get abandoned. I think someone had mentioned before about when people increase or come up, then they don't want to deal with the other person because now they've attained this higher status. So it can make the person who's making less a bit less or wary about signing a prenup because they feel, okay, this person does continue to increase and I can't necessarily utilize that. What if they decide to leave me and now I'm left with nothing in the prenup? Yeah.
Yeah, you should grow together. Yeah.
Go ahead, Chip. You got it.
I think it's your lawyers do a lot of the negotiation. So you have a lawyer working with another person's lawyer and they're hammering out agreements. So let's say you were to marry Jay-Z, then Jay-Z would say, instead of half, what I will do is set you up with this so that you aren't left out in the cold. And then that's an agreement that you have on paper that if for whatever reason it didn't work out, you know, you get that, and not what you didn't work for, you know, prior to getting it. So it's not, I don't think it's that big of an issue, because the lawyer should know what they're talking about. If your lawyer negotiates a deal for you that, you know, you left out in the cold, then you have the worst lawyer, you know. Stop using those public defenders or public lawyers or whatever.
That's true. Come on, Leslie.
So I'm team, what you call it? I just forgot the word now, but prenup. I'm team prenup. And if I were to get married again, you know, hopefully whomever I'm marrying, we are equally, you know, we earn about the same. But if I am the one that earns more, I would have the expectation that, you know, and I don't know if it's prenup, but I would want to make sure that my stuff is protected so that my children get whatever is entitled to them. You know, because, you know, I think Lori mentioned the point about we go into the marriage expecting it to get divorced, but I've been divorced, so it for me it works. So right, I want to make sure that if it comes to that again, that I'm you know, I'm not losing stuff that I've worked, you know, my life for. And I don't believe anybody should. I think if I marry somebody who makes a lot more than me, and he says, well, Leslie, I want you to sign a prenup, I'm like, where's the pen? Because I think it's unfair for me to come in, you know, in the middle of the game and then try to take what I did not work for. Now, if we build it together, that's a different story. But if I'm marrying Jay-Z today, I've done nothing to make Jay-Z a billionaire. So why am I entitled to anything? And that's how I feel. The same way if you come in and I'm a hundredaire, I don't think you have a right to come in and get anything that I've worked my life for.
Okay, that's a good point. So here's something, and I also wanted to say that Denise said she is team not prenup. But I did want to ask this question then. So if you marry Jay-Z or any one of these, you know, celebrities or whoever, a millionaire, billionaire, here's the question. So what if at the end of it, he or she, you know, for the guys that marry somebody like that, they take care of you for, let's say, this 5 or 10 years. You don't really have to pay for anything. You can work your job. They pay all the bills. They pay all your food, all your trips, all this other kind of stuff. But then you come to the end of the relationship, you decide to get a divorce, you decide to go your own way. Would you be upset if you didn't get anything? They've taken care of you this whole time. Well, what have you really added as a value to them to the point where you deserve money at the end of it? Come on, Chuck.
I think if you're in a marital relationship, there's a quantitative value, which is the stuff that you pay for, but there's also the teamwork value, the fact that you had somebody there that was a support during those marital years. Maybe they made dinner for you when you came in from a hard day's work. Maybe they let you bounce ideas off of them. Maybe they let you, you know, they took care of the kids and raised the kids and that sort of thing. So there's a value that allowed you to do what you were doing during that same time period. So I would say, to be fair, it would be, you know, according to that prenup, you know, and maybe a little bonus, but yeah, I don't think you should just be like, okay, I'm out, peace. You know,
so you just like, so like I say, so if you marry Oprah and you was married to her for 10 years and she took care of everything, you didn't have to cook, you didn't have to clean, your life was literally, you get up, you go to work, you come back, she bought you a new BMW SUV, you know, you riding around. I'm gonna get to you, Janetta, let me finish this one. I don't know if you talk to somebody in the background, but you know, you driving around and she tells you, you can take the BMW. Anything I bought for you for Christmas, anything that I got for you as a gift, your clothes, you can take all of that, but you can't take a dime of money. Not a dime of money, but you can take all this crap that I bought you. Is that payment enough to be married to Oprah Winfrey for 10 years?
No, I say if all that
Even
stuff.
if Oprah looked like Halle Berry.
Yeah, no. Well, I wouldn't believe no, but no, all that stuff that you said was gifts anyway. If she gave it to you, but I think that you were there. I would say go back to the prenup. You should have at the beginning of the marriage said, "Hey, look, if this doesn't work out, this amount would set me up for however many years until I get on my feet." If you're the house husband or whatever. But yeah, I think according to the prenup and just because like I said, you were serving a function as a part of that union. It just wasn't what Oprah Winfrey. She was the light that shined, but you were the part of the support structure.
Okay, I'm with that. So Tara Ann got her hand up quick. That hand went up real quick. So come on, Tara Ann.
Okay, so I think that fundamentally a prenup protects all parties involved. I think that what matters more is what the agreed upon dynamic for the marriage is, as well as the stipulations, right? If the arrangement or the agreement between the couple is that the husband will work and the wife will take care of the home and things of that nature, I think there needs to be consideration for the fact that within, let's say, a 5-year time frame, let's say the marriage lasted 5 years, that this is 5 years of her not having worked, 5 years of her not having put money away in a 401k or not having invested, and not, potentially, that there at baseline should be some consideration for that. But again, those kinds of things would have been ironed out in the agreement. Now, is it okay that I just leave with the stuff that I got? I mean, at the end of the day, I'm willing to walk away with nothing, because for me, whatever you had, whatever you earned, just like I think it was Leslie that said this, that's yours. I don't feel like I'm entitled to it. So I'm willing to walk away, and I don't even need the stuff. At the end of the day, it is just stuff. So yes, I can walk away from it, but I think that there's a larger conversation around the expectations as well as the sacrifices that people make within the context of a marriage. And those are the things that need to be considered. And I think that while people are together and they're working together in oneness, in the execution of this marriage, that, what's mine is yours, what's yours is mine. And when you get to the point of the dissolution of that marriage, I think it's important for people just to be fair and to be kind, as hard as that can be sometimes, depending on the conditions of the divorce, right? The circumstances that led to the divorce. I think fundamentally people just need to be fair and be kind and be mature about the separation, and understand at the end of the day, it is just stuff. So, but that's just my 2 cents.
No, that was good 2 cents. Denise,
Well, that's several definitely ideal.
Yeah, Denise.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Sean, and I'll call on Denise after.
Oh, I'll make it quick. I was going to say that, Tara, that's ideal. And it would be nice if that would happen, as it did for the most part in my divorce, but you can't always count on that. That's what the people who are pro prenup are saying.
Well, like you, I'm divorced, and that's how mine went too. It was very amicable, and equitable and fair and kind and all the rest of it. So yes, that might not be, our experience might not be the norm, but definitely I think it is ideal.
Well, and not only that, I mean, it's not it's not a matter of just stuff and commodity, but if if one person gets ruined and the divorce ruins their credit, that could actually cost them their job. I mean, going back even over 30 years ago, some jobs would not hire you or even fire you if your credit was in the dumps, and a lot of times that happens in marriages or divorces, I should say.
No, I see
So
what
it's deep-rooted issue. I'm not a fan of prenups, but I can't argue with the logic.
Yeah,
I'm done.
Yeah, I wonder actually how many divorces are actually amicable, because mine was actually pretty good. And most of the people that I know of didn't really have a bad one. In fact, only like one or two people that I know of have had what I would consider a bad divorce. And to the point where the other person really was trying to hurt them. Because I think a lot of times that's what it is. They're lashing out with hurt to try to hurt the person because the person hurt them. But that's again a whole nother topic. We can be talking about that all night. But I did see Denise's, and she finally put her hand up. She's been quiet this whole time. That's why I wanted to give her the chance to say anything if she wanted to say it. So Denise, do you want to say anything?
Sure. Good evening, everyone. I said I wasn't going to say anything, but I'm so passionate about this conversation a little bit. So yeah, I'm not on team prenup. I think what we need to do a better job at is making sure that we know the person that we are marrying before we make that covenant, so that we don't have to worry about whether or not that person is going to take our money, take our possessions, try to get half, try to do us in. If we would take time and do the work needed before that, I think we'll be okay. I think a lot of times people don't make the sacrifice and do the work needed to make sure you know who you're marrying. And so that to me is the big issue. The other thing that I wanted to say is in terms of marrying somebody who is wealthy like a Jay-Z and leaving with what we came in to the marriage with. There's something to be said about encouragement. There's something to be said about helping that person, your spouse, continue to build on whatever they came into the marriage with. There's a value to be placed in that. And so to say, oh, I'm just going to give you the gifts that I gave you and that's it, and walk away. Well, what about the value that I brought in, the ideas that I've shared with you and how I've helped you build and encourage you in all of that? There's value to that that's worthy, that can be monetized. And so, no, I don't agree that I should have to just walk away without any type of monetary compensation for the love and the support that I've given you in the 10 years that we've been married. That there's value to that. And yes, I think Jenny said that people change. You're absolutely right. People do change. So there's nothing, we can't guarantee that the decision to marry someone and how we made that decision is going to pan out for a long, for a marriage that's going to last until eternity. But we trust God. We trust God. And I think a lot of times we don't add God to the equation. We don't add faith into the equation. We don't trust God for our marriages. We don't fight for our marriages. We're ready to give up easily. We're not going into marriage saying divorce is not an option. We're not saying, oh, I'm not signing divorce paper. We're not doing that. We're just ready to give up too easily. So again, I think I go back to the notion of make sure you know who you're marrying and why you're getting married and the purpose of marriage. The purpose of marriage is not love. Let's just keep it real. That's a whole nother topic that we could probably go into. But yeah, so that's all I wanted to say. Thanks.
No, good talk. And I can hear that a little bit of that New York accent. So
Oh
thank-
yeah, definitely. Definitely.
one of the things that I just wanted to put right here, because I do think that was excellent as well. There's a lot of things I think that, since we're talking about divorce and we actually got on this subject before I go to Tarla, because I like to interject a few educational things here and there. And one of the things that I know I've been talking to one of my friends who's not quite a nutritionist, but is really into nutrition. And that is just health, the health of your body, the health of your mind, because depression looks different for every single person. And one of the things that I recognize now is that when I was going through my divorce, I was depressed, and I believe she may have been depressed as well. And when we're stressed out and depressed, we're not the best people. So as people talk about, hey, people change, I believe a lot of times what's happening is we're just stressed out and or we're depressed. And one of the things that actually helps us to get there, whether people want to talk about it or not, is our literal health. All right. It's our literal health. It's what we eat. It's how much we exercise. It's all these things. People even talk about there's a runner's high. Have you ever heard about that? So that's a real thing. So we have to understand that there is a correlation to how we treat ourselves and how we will be with our person. And if we do not treat ourselves well, both inside and out, what we're doing is we're putting ourselves in a stressful situation. So there could be situations where a husband might be so concerned about trying to get promoted up this job situation where he's stressing himself out so much that he destroys his relationship with his wife. Or a wife is so concerned about the children and is always worried about getting them where they need to be that she no longer cares about her appearance or whatever it is. And now the man is no longer attracted to her. So there's all these things that are going on, and we need to be cognizant of it. And we don't need to act like it doesn't exist. Because one thing I've learned about the devil is that if you give him just, a needle point into your relationship, he is going to push it out a mile. And there's so many things that affect us. Okay. So you really can't even give him a needle point of space. So I just wanted to say that. Go ahead, Tarla. Let's knock it out.
I guess to go back to the previous point of prenup versus non-prenup, walking away with nothing, I agree totally with Denise's point. Even if you're not working or whatnot, you're still contributing to the relationship. You're helping encourage that person to be able to do the things that they need to do to further their careers or businesses. So having absolutely nothing, I don't think I would be okay with walking away with nothing or just what I came with, because I knew I would have contributed to my spouse's success. And to what Tara had stated about people being fair, it would be great if people would be like, well, I recognize you didn't work, but you really helped me out. You supported me when I was dealing with this or dealing with that, which helped me to, to make this new deal or do this. They would be fair enough to recognize that you did more or you contributed more to the marriage overall than just being there. I wish people would actually be fair and do that, but I don't think that necessarily always happens in marriages or in divorces and everything. But it still kind of goes back to what Denise was saying as far as knowing the person that you're marrying. And yes, people do change, but even in dating relationships, sometimes we get into dating relationships not really knowing the person, and then later on we find out who they really are, and we realize we don't like who that person is, or they change. It can change because even what you just said, Jay, yourself, depression, even within dating, you don't know what a person's dealing with in their lives, on their jobs. They may go through depression and may end up ruining the relationship itself, because people deal with things, our health, everything. Just there's so many factors that come into play when it comes to our emotional health, which then rolls into our relationship health. It's just a matter of taking care of ourselves, taking care of the people that we're with, whether we're dating or even the people that we're married to. When I say taking care of, not financially, but emotionally taking care of, discerning, recognizing when there's issues that we can help with. And if we can't help, suggesting help, but I think it's just really important of caring for the other person, being loving, being caring, looking out for people, not just yourself.
Cool, cool. Margaret. Gotta unmute. That's Margaret. There she is. Still gotta unmute though. There you
It
go.
kept not wanting me to unmute. I was talking to the prenup part of it. I was married. Me and my ex-husband made round about the same amount of money, but he was basically trying to strip me of everything I had prior, because I had the house, I had a lot before we got married. So when the divorce happened, he was trying to take everything that I had already built prior to the marriage, plus everything in the marriage. That's why I believe in prenup now. Back then I didn't. And I was married for 20 years. So it wasn't like I didn't know him. I didn't think he would turn to that route. And so it's just, you think you know a person, but you'll never truly ever know a person totally. Because you don't know how people react to certain situations or how things that happen in their lives affect them and they lash out on everybody else. So I'm team prenup, always will be. After the experience I went through, basically fighting for my life to keep what I had.
I get it. No, I thank you for that. Tara Hand, I know you had your hand up. Did you want to say something before I move on?
No, I just wanted to underscore the fact that it's important for us, even as people of faith, to understand that wisdom needs to be a part of all that we do too. And so, and what's, everyone's path is different fundamentally, but we also want to use wisdom. I would not have thought of or considered a prenup initially either. And even though I did not end up in a poor position as a result of the divorce, because of what I know and understand now, I do think that for me, it would be the wise decision for me to have that as an augment to, or as a part of also seeking God and making sure that I'm going down the right path with the right person and all the rest of it. I don't think that it's an either or. I think it's a both and for me. And I think that that's okay. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Oh, that was cool. All right, anybody else have anything else to say about the prenup thing?